Welcome everyone to the channel, Cigar Travels, and today we're going to be doing a pairing. We're going to be doing the Ferio Tego Generoso, and we're going to be pairing it with two wines, one lower end and then one high end, and we're going to decide which one we think is more preferable for ourselves. Phil, do you want to go?
Yep. For this one, we're going to be smoking the Ferio Tego Generoso. It's a Honduran wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and filler. It's rolled at the Plasencia factory in Honduras, I believe. Medium body, more leather and pepper than the Elegancia, which we smoked earlier. And I'm really looking forward to this one. I really like this cigar.
Right on. Christian, do you have any...
Oh, yeah. Hey, first of all, I'm Christian Hudson. I'll introduce myself since you didn't introduce Phil.
I'm a bad friend.
You're a bad friend.
Oh, that's true. We do need to introduce ourselves each time.
Yeah. But I'm Christian Hudson from Just For Him Retail Cigar Shop, Springfield, Missouri.
Description will be, or link will be in the description.
What he said. But one of the reasons I'm really excited about this cigar is this is my last box of these. Ooh. This is the original Generoso release from 2021. I have not smoked this particular year for a while, so I have to imagine it's going to be amazing. And now we have 7, but I only had 10 cigars before tonight started, so I'm excited about it.
Well, if it's your last box, that means, Michael, you need to send Christian more, so that way we have more.
I like the way you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, just for the full experience, I'm Phil. I'm a certified tobacconist. I worked for Christian for years. And I'm really looking forward to smoking this cigar. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, if that's all right.
I'm not important, so we're just going to get started.
Mingo, you're important.
You're sitting in the middle, bud. You're the glue.
I'm now 2 for 2. Disappointing Michael.
I did take a cold draw.
You took a cold draw.
I did, yes.
Do you have any notes on the cold draw?
I wasn't paying attention when I did it, honestly. So I apologize, Michael, for the second time.
I picked up some pepper on the cold draw, a little bit of leather. Most of the stuff I was expecting that I remembered from this, these cigars stick in my head in ways that some others don't.
Ooh, that pepper.
Yeah, very, very good.
That pepper is really good. I'm Grant. Welcome to the channel. I am just a cigar enthusiast, and I've been a friend of both of theirs for quite a while. I think I've been coming here for 6 years.
Seems like longer, but it's because you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, yeah, it's been about 6-7 years, give or take.
I really taste the sun-grown this time around in that binder.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a whole different beast compared to the Elegancia.
I mean, it's standing out more than I remember it when I smoked it in 21. And it's got that nice, almost meaty flavor.
Yeah, there's barbecued meat, almost heavy dark fruit flavors, coffee, cocoa. And I don't really get much into the certain magazines' descriptions of all the nuances of cigars. I go with the things that I'm familiar with, but
The more pretentious
this is
descriptions.
Picking up any Tahitian vanilla?
hints of Madagascar cinnamon and tapioca and aluminium. No, this is a peppery, heavily rich cigar.
Yeah, it's very, very peppery,
Just to make it simple,
but not overly peppery.
and right off the foot, it's full flavor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's no warming up.
It does not limp into
Let's
it.
smoke it a quarter inch before we give it time to develop its flavor. This cigar is full flavor right off the foot. That being said, I'm getting thirsty, so
this first one is Troublemaker by Austin Hope. It's just says red wine. It's Central Coast. So when me and Phil looked earlier, because I couldn't remember what it was, I assumed it was a Pinot because that's what the guy at the liquor store told me. Seems to be a blend.
It's a red.
So-
Yeah, got to be a red blend.
There's a. It is red. It is red.
Quite astute.
A Syrah, a Petite, Syrah, a Grenache, Zinfandel, and Mourvedre. I don't know what the last one is, but I'm assuming it's red.
Well, that is a sweet wine.
It is a sweet wine.
Yeah.
That is a rich, heavy, sweet wine.
And this one is going to run you between $15 and $20.
And that's a delightful, heavy, rich, sweet wine.
A little drier than the stuff we did previously, which I feel like is already playing well with the salivation for the cigar.
Yeah. But, I've had, there's a lot of reds out there that'll turn your mouth inside out with the tannins. And that's not so much the case with this guy.
Ooh.
That's like jelly.
I like
jam. Currant.
Currant is...
See, we could be freaking looking for that magazine.
Yeah, we make up flavor words and string them together.
Red currant. Not white currant. Red currant.
Red, white. Plum.
There's a touch of plum. Nice. A little floral to it.
I taste grapes.
And honestly, that's the most honest thing that's been said.
I feel like the darker red fruits with the pepperiness is a very, very good pairing.
I think it's working really well.
Yeah.
And it's only been a minute. But this is almost one of those, as I sort of mentioned before, this is a little of a contradictory.
Yeah.
This is a richer, spicier cigar with a kind of a heavy, sweet wine.
A little bit smoother, yeah.
And I'm not mad at it at all.
No, not at all. I will say that this lower end one, it kind of tames the pepper for me a little bit more. So if I just smoke the cigar without this wine, the pepper notes are more predominant than if.
It does give sort of a mulled wine experience.
So it enhances more of the smoothness, I guess, of the cigar rather than the harshness. I would kind of
Rounds
describe
it out a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm digging it, as you would say.
I do say digging it.
That wine coats my palate about as heavily in the sweet as this was coating it in sort of that spicy note.
I was actually about to say, I feel like the strength of the wine, as far as mouthfeel, is very well matched to the strength of the cigar.
Repeat that.
The fullness of the wine and the fullness of the cigar are very much in the same order.
Gotcha.
It feels complementary, even if the flavors are a little contradictory, although complementary. I'm going to say more C words.
Can you say that again?
No.
It's sort of
quite
amazing
pleasant.
with this little brown cylinder of rolled up dried leaves and changing the leaf position and changing the country of origin and changing everything. Completely different products than the cigar we smoked for the last episode. A whole different experience
Which
altogether.
was the Ferio Tego Elegancia was the last episode. Go check it out.
What are you supposed to say? Like and subscribe.
Yes.
See, I'm learning about social media.
Link in bio.
What a boomer. He's not a boomer. My parents are boomers.
He's got gray hair in his beard. He may be a boomer.
I mean, I've got gray hair. No, I've got some grays coming in.
This isn't gray. This is white.
Platinum.
I earned this. This is my
That's
silverback
wisdom
stripe.
right there. That's wisdom.
This is my silverback stripe. I got this when I completed puberty. I think I'm going to switch to the other one and see how they compare. I think it's time.
Which
I think it's time.
is the the Erie Vineyards Estate Pinot Noir 2021. And
It smells a little more sour.
I want to say this won an award in 2021.
So we went from a red blend to a Pinot.
Yes.
So the style's going to be a little lighter.
And I will not be going over the alcohol content because I'm not quite sure on the YouTube terms and regulations. So I don't want to get in trouble. I should probably drink it. This one's definitely lighter than the other one, just by a hair. It got a little bit more of a burgundy color.
Mouth feels a little lighter. Might be a little sweeter.
Yeah, it's different style of red. Mm-hmm. But this is not a lighter body.
No.
Strength is lighter.
I want to say I did get more fruity notes off of the lower end one than I do this one on the nose.
There's some...
Unless that's just me. Could very well just be me.
I think I like the cheaper one better. Myself.
15-second response. With the cigar or just period?
With the cigar. I feel like the heavier mouthfeel
Complements it more.
complements it much more. They build
Well-
in unison.
I think I may agree with you. I hate to do that because I think if we disagreed, it would make for better conversation. But I think this cigar might be a little too full
For the
for this wine. And this wine's fantastic.
absolutely.
But this cigar is not to be trifled with.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the blend.
I mean, they're definitely different. Definitely different. I don't know. This one's tough for me. I like the flavor of the lower end one more. But I don't know. I'm
Well-
not very helpful on this at the
Well,
moment.
I drank a lot of Pinot. This is a fantastic Pinot. I am not angry at this Pinot at all. However, I think with this particular cigar, and this could be, I'm thinking if we had a, oh my golly, like let's go my father, like my father number 5, like original my father blend, big heavy spicy cigar. It's gonna like that first wine better. It's gonna be too strong for this Pinot.
I was thinking something along the lines of a Corojo Criollo, something that's going to give me a little heavier mouthfeel that the wine is actually going to help kind of wash and blend into. On the higher end wine.
Like for the nicer, the more expensive wine that we're having.
Yeah.
Like one of the literally off the top of my head, like Generoso, Guardian of the Farm.
That's exactly the cigar I was thinking of, actually, yeah.
And then Dominican wise, like a Don Carlos would love this with that sweet Cameroon. Mm-hmm. But no, I think for the cigar that we have, which is for 2021, so we have 3 years plus age on it. By the way, is burning fantastic.
Mine is.
I like the first wine better, the inexpensive one.
Mine is burning a little bit off, like it's a little bit offset, but it's not terrible. You know.
I have to teach you how to light a cigar.
Yeah, you will. I'm sorry, Michael. I even used a fancy lighter just for you. I will say though, after double fisting there, that I think that the higher end one doesn't overpower the pepper. So on the lower end wine, it kind of reduced the amount of pepper flavor notes that I got out of the cigar, and then the higher end didn't negate it.
I can see that. I'm not mad at either of them.
Oh no, they're both really good.
And wine's tricky, I think, with cigars. Michael is not probably tricky with it because that's what he does.
He knows his stuff.
But for me, it is, especially when you get a wine that's higher in tannins, and you get that sort of drier mouthfeel, or the real fruit bomb wines too.
Now I will say, oh sorry, go
keep going.
No, go.
I just find it easier for me to pair things that I'm like I can pair with beers real well. 'Cause I know we don't pair anything with hops pretty much unless we're doing like some crazy candela or even whiskeys. But I think wine is a challenging pairing.
Now I will say that for the Generoso, that Michael actually said no white wines with this one, just reds.
I think this would completely obliterate a white.
I agree.
I'm really impressed with the strength of this cigar, but I know it's not that well aged. I mean, it's only been a couple of years, but
It's still a phenomenal cigar. And,
it's holding up very, very, very well.
and I'm very disappointed after you just saying that it's limited run.
Well, this is
So-
2021. It was a one-time release.
So that's very unfortunate because this is
Luckily, though, they come back every year, but
a
or as long as
phenomenal
Michael
cigar.
wants to keep making them.
Michael, keep making them. They're phenomenal. They're right up my alley. So, Phil, you are more obliged to go with the lower end on this one. Mm-hmm. So the 15 to 20, maybe $30 range is probably where you're going with this one.
Absolutely. I think the mouthfeel, the little bit of dryness to that one makes me like if you had asked me to pair this with something, I would have probably suggested a Malbec, something in the
Malbec, okay?
drier, sweeter range, which I feel like the red really satisfies. Again, there's nothing wrong with the Pinot. It's just not. I feel like the cigar overpowers it a little bit more than it does the blend.
Okay. Now, before I go to you, I will say that me not being a wine drinker normally, I will say that the lower end one, the blend, it's more of what I envision as a wine than the higher end one. It's thicker, and it covers my entire palate more than the Pinot, the higher end. The blend, the lower end one. I think it covers more of my palate than the Pinot does.
So the take-home message is you need to drink some more wine.
I do.
Because there's a whole world out there of wonderful, complex wines that are not necessarily at that first wine's level. But I agree with Phil. For this particular situation on this night, I think that the style of this wine, and the flavor is great.
For which one? The blend?
The blend, the red blend. It's like thick, heavy jam, complement or contradictory to the strength and the spiciness of this. I think it's really fun for a pairing.
And just for these two wines themselves.
Yeah, just
Just these two.
for this little
Not in general, just these
No, just this little microcosm.
two. Yeah. Wonderful.
And everyone's palate's different. You have a totally different experience. But I think this wine makes this cigar better, and this cigar makes that wine better. The second wine is a great freaking Pinot. I would love to just drink it. But with the cigar, it's okay. It's good. I just think it's not as interesting as an experience as the first wine,
Okay.
in my humble opinion.
I agree.
Now, I don't know if this is going to differ a whole lot, but do you have a preference on what fullness of cigars you typically go for?
I smoke across the board. It depends on what time of day, how hydrated I am, what I had for my last meal. So I'm going to select a cigar based on how I feel at the moment. But anytime that I'm trying to pair the cigar with a beverage or with some food, that's going to change the way that I approach the situation because I'm, taking more things into account.
Okay. Across the board, I typically go for a medium full. Unless, of course, there are some exceptions to that. I love a Padron where I get that chocolatey coffee taste, a little bit of the earthiness, but not too much. I don't like the huge leather bombs too much, or where it tastes like you're smoking dirt almost. I don't really like those a whole lot. So I'm more of a medium full, maybe a lower end full type of cigar smoker. The lighter ones don't really get me too much anymore. I don't really taste a whole lot now for that because of COVID. But
Freaking COVID.
Fucking COVID. But I'm sure you're across the board.
There are so many talented and amazing cigar makers in the world right now, making fantastic products. And there are some light cigars that are blow your socks off. And then there's other people that are going to test your freaking mental or your physical fortitude. And you're going to be in the sweat smoking it, and the cigar's still going to be great. And there's everywhere in between. But for me, I normally smoke a medium-bodied cigar. I smoke a small format cigar. Working,
Small format in what regard?
I don't smoke large cigars. I don't smoke like a 660. I rarely smoke even a Churchill. I like Coronas, Lonsdales, things of that sort. That's my preference.
So for the beginner cigar smoker who's watching this, you're talking more smaller ring gauge?
I tend to smoke a smaller ring gauge.
Okay.
For me.
So ring gauge means thickness of the cigar.
Yeah, so if they say a cigar is a 46 ring gauge, that is 46 64ths of an inch. So ring gauge is measured in 64ths of 1 inch. So if you have a large cigar that's a 64 ring gauge, it's a 1 inch thick cigar.
I would add a caveat for the new cigar smokers. A smaller ring gauge is actually going to increase the intensity of the flavor and more concentrate the smoke on your palate. So the smaller gauge cigars are going to tend to be a little bit more intense for this young cigar smokers. Something to bear in mind. The larger ones are going to give you a more relaxed draw and flavor. The smaller ones are going to give you a little bit more concentrated and experience. And they're both wonderful. And in fact, you can use that if you like, say you're smoking a cigar, it's in a Toro, you wish you could kick it up a notch, just a little bit, go find you a Corona Gorda. It's going to elevate it, concentrate it just a smidge, you may find the sweet spot for you.
Yeah, I agree with Phil. It depends on what tobacco you're starting with, but
What tobacco you're starting with in what regard? Like where it's from, or?
no, I'm talking about like the physical, what the cigar is made of. So the wrapper tobacco on this Ferio Tego Generoso, and I forget the ring gauge, it appears to be about a 50.
Okay.
So 50 64ths of an inch. If this was a 42, assuming the ratios of tobaccos are the same, you're going to get a huge increase in influence of flavor from the wrapper. And the wrapper tobacco being, the most expensive part of the cigar. And that may appeal to you quite a bit more than that 50 ring gauge. And I always try to say better, because it's not better. Better is up to you.
And
You may like that 50 ring gauge. You may like a 54, 56 better. But I always like to see what the bigger influence of the wrapper tobacco on the cigar is going to do. And generally that's with a smaller or an average ring gauge cigar.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but the wrapper does dictate the overall flavor.
Well,
or the more
as
predominant
Manuel
flavor?
Casada would say, depends.
Okay.
Almost every question that's ever been asked
Depends.
depends.
Okay.
Because the fillers, I mean, in terms of weight, the fillers are much more, you know, there's a lot more of them there, and they're going to dictate that flavor as well. But if we just take this and we keep the ratios the same, the wrapper is going to be a heavier influence. Now, some cigar makers will change the blend when they change the size. And that just depends on the company and the purpose of the sensation that company wants you to have.
So for going off of that, for instance, the Generoso, he doesn't do this, I don't think, or I think there's only one size of this.
There's only one size.
There's only one size. So going off of what you said, if there was a Robusto of this one, in theory, he could have a completely different blend, even if he called it the Generoso.
Yeah, I mean, say the Generoso was in 5 sizes. I mean, he could have a Churchill, a Toro, a number 2, like a Torpedo, a Corona, and whatever, Petite Corona. Or he could have a Petite Lancero. There used to be, in a land far away in years past, the Nat Sherman Timeless, to bring up Michael again, but it was a very small, almost a Petite Lancero, which was fantastic, you know, flavor bomb, but a very small cigar. And that thing was amazing. These guys have so much talent, and they have the resources to obtain some of the best tobaccos in the world, and they can give to the market a flavor profile that they hope will bring us pleasure. Because really that's what we're trying to do. We're enjoying this wonderful product. It's going to make us happy. It's yummy. Like we're drinking wonderful wine, which brings us pleasure. We're smoking these wonderful cigars, bring us pleasure. And they're stimulating different parts of our palate depending on the tobaccos that are in it. Which is why I love my job.
I love my yob.
I love my job.
As a bartender in Punta Cana used to say all the time. I love my yob.
Well, there's nothing like burning art for a living.
What?
Right?
Oh fuck. Who's that artist that cut his artwork? Like it was like his frame was it had a built-in shredder.
Banksy's.
Banksy. Like kind of like that.
Yeah, he's my second cousin.
Is he?
Yep. Look it up.
No shit.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's true. You can write it down, internet.
Wikipedia. Get on it. Christian Hudson. Owner of Just For Him.
Yep, my cousin to Banksy's. Realizing that there's no artistic or musical talent in my family in any way, but whatever.
I thought you played an instrument when you were younger.
No.
No?
I played nose tackle.
No.
No fine arts whatsoever. Anyway,
So,
I think Phil and I have decided. What did
Yeah.
you decide?
so you both are the blend, the lower end.
For this pairing, I'm gonna pick this rich fruit bomb of a wine. Cost was whatever, but I think it works better with this cigar. This has more strength than I remember, to be very honest. I'm going to be drinking this Pinot in the frickin' alley here in an hour by myself. But
I'll go. Just to be the outlier here. I'll go with the higher end one, just because for me, I am a huge fan of pepper, and the higher end one does not overpower or reduce the amount of pepper that I taste.
that's fair. It's a great wine, and
Yeah. I mean, like you said earlier, if we weren't smoking cigars, I would prefer the higher end anyway, just because it tastes better.
it's me as well. But for this one, that heavy mouth coat with the strength of this, I think, is great.
And again, I'm not much of a wine drinker, so for those who do drink wine, maybe go along with these.
With
these
many
guys.
things in life, there is like and there is don't like. don't know. I'm already getting excited about the third one.
Me too.
So, on that note, let's go with the Summa.
Summer.
The
Summa.
summer.
The
So-
summer.
If you want to continue the pairing, please go to part 3. And Christian, with Just For Him, his shop and gift shop and lounge will be in the description. The link will be in the description. So
Yes.
click next on for part 3.
Like and subscribe.
Like and you have to say like and subscribe.
Yeah, I think it's. I think they just demonetize us otherwise.
Yeah, I think they do, honestly. Not that we're making money anyway, but
Right.
like and subscribe. Please, pretty please.
What are you doing?
And he's committing blasphemy, I think.
We didn't say anything.
Michael didn't say anything. Covered up. Michael didn't say anything.
He had a scarf over his face.
Like and subscribe. On to the next.
All right.
I want to restart.
At the end of a long day, and you take a bite of it, and you're like, holy shit. I'm good. This is a product that's going to bring you pleasure in the evening or in the morning with a cup of coffee or whenever it is when you choose to have it. And there are so many intricacies that go into this that it's almost mind-boggling.